everybody, and welcome back to my channel, Thrills and Stitches. If you have never been here before, my name is Elisa and I'm all about making my dream wardrobe from scratch while taking you along for the ride so maybe you can recreate some of the pieces that I make at home. If you are anything like me and you like fashion and movies, then you might know that today is the day of the Oscars. Not only that, today is also the day of the Vanity Fair Oscar party. Ever since I was a little girl, I loved watching the Oscars. I grew up in Austria, so I had to watch it like late at night, basically in the middle of the night, to be honest. Sometimes my mom would even let me stay home from school because, as you know, the Oscars are on a Sunday, Monday's a school day, so yeah, I did that, truly I did. So you can see how much of a fan I was of this very weird, very old event that happens very far away from where I grew up, but somehow I was obsessed with it. I'm not that huge a fan anymore. I'm not staying up late at night watching the whole thing, but I do like watching the red carpet highlights the day after. I always dreamed about going to an event like this, so I thought, you know, why not do something for myself and create a dress that I would wear if I was to go to the Vanity Fair Oscar party. This whole idea actually came up when I strolled through one of the many fabric shops here in London and found this gorgeous sequined tulle with this beautiful floral pattern on it. The tulle itself has actually a floral pattern, but then also the sequins are stitched onto it in this floral arrangement of like peachy pink and green and these iridescent sequins, which I think makes just a really nice combination. And I saw this and I was smitten. I know that I don't have an event where I could wear something like this, but I just wanted to make something with it. It's also such a beautiful spring fabric, so I just had to get it. And that was it really. This stayed at home at my house untouched for a couple of weeks because I didn't quite know what the project would be that I would use this for. But now we know. It's gonna be a dress for my fictional visit to the Vanity Fair Oscar party. So I came up with this gorgeous short design, which I love because it is very whimsical, it is very fresh. I love like a fresh look. I also thought I'd do a lot of like midi or long dresses, so why not do something short this time? Also, it's the after party, so something short is probably good for dancing, which I assume people do there. So as you can see, the dress has this like tiered skirt, it has a pink layer underneath the tulle, and it has this beautiful green sash, which the idea is that there is a bow in the back. So I went out to the fabric shops trying to find something to create this look, but then I fell in love with this amazing, beautiful green satin right here. I just love this color so much, and I think it's such a beautiful spring color as well. So I ditched the idea of the pink layer underneath the tulle and instead we'll go with this green layer underneath. And for the green bow on top of the bodice, I'm going to use this slightly darker green satin to finish it off. I already created this mock, so this is basically already the shape it's going to have in the end. I'm excited about this. This is really just a challenge for myself, nothing that I would probably wear anytime soon in the real world, but you know, we want to expand the horizons and add some skills to our portfolio. So if you're interested, stick around. Let's make this dress. Okay, so I think all of the prep work is done. That was quite a lot actually. I thought I was going to be quicker, but all of the cutting took me like a couple of hours now, honestly. I mean, I took some extended breaks in between for lunch, but it's still, yeah, surely a couple of hours. So what we have is we've already got the lining bodice pinned together. This is not sewn yet, so this is number one. And we have the shell bodice cut out in the satin as well as in our beautiful sequined tulle. So now I will pin together the tulle with the satin before I join all of the pieces together, so all of the seams are hidden inside and it looks nice and clean. We are going to start with the center front. So this is the center front piece in the satin and in the sequin tulle. So I'm going to place that left side of the tulle on the right side of the satin because that's how we're going to see it on the outside later. So I'm going to place these on top of each other and I'm going to just place a couple of pins. And now I'm gonna baste these sides so I can be sure nothing's moving around. So I'm gonna grab a machine, set it to a basting stitch, which is about 5 stitch length for me, and then I'm gonna baste the tulle onto the satin. I put all of my shell pieces together and they look all right. They look good. This is basically my shell. Now I'm just gonna pin those together, and I can do that by making sure that the right sides are touching. And I have these little notches in my satin that I can make sure align so everything is in place. And this is where it can get tricky just generally, because we have 4 layers of fabric going on here. We have 2 layers of satin and 1 layer of sequined tulle. Alright, so this is how far along we are. Looking good. I really like the look of this. It's so pretty. So pretty. I actually know, I'm thinking I could have used something like this for the Bridgerton dress that I made, the video that went live last week. It would have been cute too, for sure. So I have the shell finished. I have the lining assembled. So that's gonna go on that as well at some point. But I think I'm gonna call it a day. It's so nice outside. I need to get some fresh air, and I also need to run some errands. So I think we're gonna leave it at that and then see where we can get to tomorrow. I'll pin all of the, oh no, hold on. We need to make sure that the right side is looking out. So place the left side of your lining onto your mock-up bodice so that all of the seam allowances are facing each other. So that means left side on left side. We can start to pin all of the seams on top of each other so that they're sort of aligned. Alright, so now things are getting a little bit more interesting. We have the lining pinned seam on seam to our corset underbuilt. And now what I'm going to do is, for every seam, I'm going to create 2 stitches left and right of the already existing seam to create a tunnel where the boning is going to go in. Right? Okay, let's do it. Okay, so now we have all of these tunnels here. It's not my cleanest work, I'm gonna say that right away, but I think it will do. It's only on the inside, it's gonna be fine. So now I also have the boning, which is gonna go in here. I'll cut the pieces as I need them, step by step. And I'm gonna cut them in half because that's gonna save me some boning and it doesn't have to be so wide. And the thing is, the boning is kind of like concave, so it kind of like bends in one direction, as you can see. And I'm gonna make sure that I put it in so that it bends up like this. So it's not bending away from our body, but towards our body. Perfect, so we have a bone corset. Great. Okay, so let me explain what's gonna happen now. So to join the corset and the shell, we basically just put them right sides touching, we sew the seam and we overturn it so we have a nice clean seam on top of the corset. However, we also need to consider the sash that's gonna go on top of all of this. Another green situation, a bit of a darker green situation. So this needs to go in between the corset and the shell, is my thinking. Okay, so I just basted the top of this together so it stays in place, and I gave it a bit of a press. And now we can have a think about how we are going to place this in here. So first I'm going to grab my corset and I'm going to place the center front notches on top of each other. So the important thing is that the majority of the sash is looking down and not looking up because of the way we're going to overturn it later. Yeah, this is interesting. I've never done anything like this before, so it's a bit of a gamble. I mean, you know, if it doesn't work, we can open it up again, but ideally it would be better if I don't have to open it up again. So if we follow the curve, can fold everything the way we want to, then yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So I'm going to follow the curve. Okay, so it's pinned to the corset, and now we can place the shell and sandwich the sash in between the lining and the shell. Alright, so we have the shell, we have the sash, and we have the lining. So once we have this sewn together, we have a clean look, is the thinking. So let's try it and see what happens. I'm gonna do this with a stitch length of 4, so in case I have to open it up again, I can, but if I can leave it, it's also fine. I mean, what do we say to that? This looks pretty neat to me, in the front at least. The back is a whole other thing, but we will think about that later. For now, I am super happy with this. This looks so nice. So nice. I really like it. It was easier than I thought, honestly. So I think also having it in that position for a while will definitely help having this overturned situation go flat a little bit more. It's going to be hard for me to press this. It's not really going to do anything when I press it. So I'll leave it on the mannequin for now. I'll have a lunch break and then I'll have a think about the skirt. I'm done with lunch, so I can now focus on the skirt. The skirt is going to be a layer of lining, a layer of tule, a layer of satin, and a layer of sequin tule. So again, 4 layers. And I need to still cut the tule layer. And my thinking is, I have 3 meters of this, which for tule, if you want to make a petticoat, isn't actually that much. So I will have to cut a circle skirt first, so I have my base, and then I can see how much I have left. it looks cute. It's basically just a couple of tiers of gathered stripes on this circle skirt, and that's what this now looks like. And that means we have all of the layers for our skirt ready and prepared, so we can join them together. Okay, so the skirt is sewn together, and now I think we can attach the skirt to the corset together with this layer of lining. Let me grab the corset. The first needle broken. This hasn't happened in a long time, to be fair. And the machine is always so dramatic when it happens. It just like makes this terrible robotic noise, and I'm always like, oh no, now it's breaking. Like the machine itself in here is breaking, but it seems like everything's fine. But I definitely have to replace the needle. Okay, so we have the corset. I just trimmed the length of it, so we have a straight waist line, which is going to go onto lots of fabric. The skirt is going to go onto the corset, right sides touching, so like this. Now that the corset and the skirt are pinned together, the last layer is going to be the lining. So I just noticed that I popped on the lining like all sorts of wrong ways, to be honest, because the right side is inside rather than outside, and then also this is actually supposed to be in here, and this nice seam is supposed to show like on the inside of the dress. So I will have to take this off again and then put it on here so I can overturn it this way. Okay, so I just removed the lining again and joined the top and the skirt together, so those are good. And now I can actually put the lining on here the right way. Okay, so now we have a beautiful seam here at the waist, and everything is nicely and neatly hidden away. Alright, so I prepared the skirt to be hemmed. I cut it back to 50 centimeters length. That's how long I want it to be, because it's supposed to be a mini dress, because it's so it's so glittery and sparkly. It's good for it to be small, like a small dress. So there will be a few steps to hemming this layer of the skirt. I will first baste the length so everything stays in place as it is right now, as it is with the pins. Once I've basted it, I can then fold it over once and stitch it down, fold it over once again and top stitch it down again. So that's going to be a bit tedious, but it's hopefully going to be worth it, so I have a nice finish. Okay, wish me luck. That's probably going to take a while. Alright guys, it's the end of this Sunday, and my batteries are empty. Actually and figuratively, like my phone is running out of battery, and I'm pretty tired. Sneak peek, the dress is looking really good. It's nowhere near finished. All the layers are assembled, everything is where it's supposed to be, but there's no closure in the back, and the hems are not finished, and that is usually, with a dress with so many layers, the most difficult part. Finishing it all off is gonna take the longest, but I'm happy with where I'm at. I think I can finish this week, which is amazing, because that means it really didn't take me this long. I mean, also I have to finish it this week because the Oscars are next Sunday, so that's when I want to upload this video. And now I need to actually do some prep for the week. I need to cook something. I need to clean this room because this is the single biggest mess that I've ever seen. And and then I need to unwind a little bit and, you know, prepare for Monday. All right, so with that, I'm gonna leave you, and the next time we see each other, I'm probably gonna work away on the closure of the dress. Alright, so now things get exciting. I have just hemmed the lining skirt, so everything's finished here. I also cut back the tulle to make sure everything's short enough so it's not looking out underneath the shelf. And I also measured and trimmed the center back so I can be sure that the two center back pieces are this equal width, so everything's symmetrical. I also checked that the sash up here is equal height. Now I can insert the zip. So the zip is going to go in so that it starts just underneath where the sash is. It's not going to join the sash together like this because we're going to have a bow in the back, and I need to have these little ends here to attach the rest of my bow, which I still have to create. So basically what's going to happen now is that I need to pin in the zip, and that I'm going to speed up so I don't bore you to death. The very last step, I'm just going to attach my bow back here, which is like a quite long sash situation, and I'm gonna do that by hand. Hi everybody, Editing Elisa here. I just quickly wanted to check in with you and tell you how I actually think the dress turned out, and I'm really so pleased with it. This was a really complicated piece and I made it in 2 days, which is actually quite amazing, and I'm not trying to blow my own horn here. It's just really cool to see how my sewing skills have evolved over time, and I don't think I would have been able to make a dress like this in such a short amount of time, even just a year ago. So that's a win in my book. I would definitely wear this to the red carpet, by the way, which I didn't have a red carpet to shoot the final reveal on, but I hope that the Blossom here in London will do for you. And that's it really. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope I see you next time. Bye!